That's an enzyme almost always found in association with viruses.
So it's taken over some of the plant cells and inserted its own genetic material.
Margot, the hormones listed in this analysis of the leaf, they're all produced by the human hypothalamus. Whoever killed Fred Ford really needs the hormones on that leaf.
Gone off the map, Evans.
This is the old coal tunnel.
Lieutenant? Yeah? The scent seems to be getting stronger. What in God's name is that smell? I don't like this. Hollingsworth! Hollingsworth! Are you okay? Jesus Christ, what the hell did that? Come on, boy. Come on. Let's go. We got a very dangerous situation, Your Honor.
The Kothoga, South American tribe, the Senzera. They made a deal with Satan to vanquish their enemies. So Kothoga was born.
Based on the 1995 novel of the same name by Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child, the Relic follows the rampage of an evolving chimeric creature with a taste for brains known as the Kothoga. Part of the South American tribe's superstitions and history, the Kothoga is a terrifying creature that wreaks havoc on Chicago in Peter Hyams' 1997 sci-fi horror.
Bailey?
Yeah!
You hear something?
No!
The monster is essentially the result of an extreme mutation caused by a viral fungus composed of an extremely potent combination of hormones that function as a biological change accelerant. The mutation would be utilized by tribespeople when they wanted to eliminate a threat, with a human or animal ingesting the fungus and transforming into a Kothoga that can be unleashed to defend them.
People of the Senzera tribe, when they were threatened by an enemy, they must have fed some of those hormonal leaves to some animal, and it caused a riot in its DNA.
Every Kothoga is chimeric, meaning it's composed of parts from different origins. Derived from the chimera of Greek mythology, a fire-breathing monster that was part lion, part goat, and part dragon, not too dissimilar to man-bear-pig. In genetics, the term refers to an organism or tissue composed of cells that are genetically distinct with at least two different sets of DNA. All animals develop from a single fertilized egg, so theoretically, every single cell in the body should have the exact same genome, but chimeras don't, and there are actually many people with at least a few living cells from another person. This arises in a number of ways. Microchimerism, which is the exchange of cells during pregnancy. These cells may travel into the mother's or fetus's bloodstream and migrate to different organs, remaining there for decades. Artificial chimerism, which is when a person receives a blood transfusion, stem cell transplant, or bone marrow transplant from another person and absorbs some of that person's cells. Twin chimerism is a more extreme version, and this occurs when a pair of twins is conceived. One embryo dies in the womb, and the surviving fetus absorbs the cell of its deceased twin.
When they did another ultrasound a few weeks later, they discovered that I had resorbed the other fetus.
While tetragametic chimerism occurs when two different sperm cells fertilize two different egg cells, which in turn all fuse together into one embryo. Symptoms of chimerism can range from differently colored eyes, patches of skin with different shades, two or more sets of DNA present in the body's red blood cells, autoimmune issues to abnormalities in reproductive organs. Horrifically, in an attempt to investigate how part human chimeras might help us treat diseases as well as provide organs for human transplants, scientists have created the world's first monkey embryos containing human cells.
Is it a monkey? Is it something in between? And that raises ethical issues because we don't know how we should treat these creatures ethically.
The embryos, which were derived from a monkey and then injected with human stem cells in the lab, were allowed to grow for 20 days before being destroyed. Previously, the same researchers explored this avenue in pigs, seen as ideal because their organs are about the same size as ours. However, not enough human cells took to create a functional chimera, and the research failed.
That word, chimera, from Greek mythology is meant to elicit fear, but the scientists argue they are trying to solve a problem and save lives.
Other experiments have produced a goat-sheep entity that had both woolly and coarse hair, showing just the tip of the iceberg of what is possible.
I was amused by how quick it was up and moving about, like, you know.
You'd never seen anything like it before?
I've never seen anything like it before, no.
In the film, John Whitney's Kothoga chimera is essentially a combination of human, fish, reptile, insect, and big cat features transfused with the help of an unknown biological change accelerant.
The fungus was loaded with hormones, animal hormones, that are produced in the thalmoid region of the human brain.
You mean the hypothalamus?
Moving with the gait and claws of a tiger, covered in green scales of a crocodile, and featuring terrifying mandibles that enable it to tear out the brains of its victims and feast on their hormones, Whitney's Kothoga is nightmare fuel. John Whitney, an anthropologist for the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago, is studying a tribe in South America who give him a potion to drink during one of their rituals. Troubled with visions and concerned by what he was bringing back, he unsuccessfully attempts to remove his cargo bound for Chicago off his ship before sneaking on himself. Realizing the cargo is not there, he cries out as 6 weeks pass and the ship arrives on Lake Michigan with its crew missing. This prompts Lieutenant Vincent DeGoster and his partner Sergeant Hollingsworth of the Chicago PD to investigate the ship, where they find the beheaded bodies of the crew. Arriving at the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago, we meet evolutionary biologist Margot Green, who finds out that Whitney's cargo had been delivered via air freight. Green, along with fellow scientist and mentor Albert Frock, examine the delivery only to find a bundle of leaves with a strange fungus and a broken statue depicting the Kothoga. As Green sends the fungus to be analysed, the museum's security guard is pulled off screen by a large creature that grabs his leg under the stall. The next day, Vincent investigates and finds that the guard had been killed in the same manner as the crew of the ship. Suspecting a connection, he locks down the museum so they can search for the culprits. Of course, this ends up worrying the museum's director, Anne Cuthbert, who is concerned about an important exhibition they're hosting in a few days. As the museum is searched, Green's analysis determines that the fungus contains a concentrated amount of hormones found in many species of animal. Shortly after, an autopsy reveals that the hypothalamus and pituitary glands had been removed from the victims.
Something's missing, Lieutenant. Where's the rest of it?
You got everything we found.
There is no thalamic region. There is no pituitary gland.
The Kothoga in essence feeds on the fungus that created it, and without the leaves, which is what Whitney was after, the creature is after the next best thing, the hypothalamus of humans. The search soon turns up a homeless man living in the sub-basement carrying John Whitney's wallet, who's gunned down. Despite having doubts that they found their killers, under pressure from the mayor, Vincent is forced to allow the exhibition to take place. Predictably, things go awry, with the Kothoga emerging and beginning its rampage, feeding on both the visitors and the officers there to protect them. Margot suggests using liquid nitrogen to kill the Kothoga, as it's part reptilian and likely cold-blooded, but this has no effect. After another analysis, they soon realize the Kothoga is actually John Whitney, transformed beyond recognition. Despite the seeming impossibility of the task ahead, they lead it to the research area and ultimately kill it with an explosive fire.
You go to hell!
The Relic opened in theaters January 10, 1997, pulling in over $9 million during its opening weekend. Despite this, it ended its run making only $33 million of its $60 million budget. Many jabronis blasted the movie for being derivative of Jaws, Alien, and Predator, which of course never helps, while others chided the film for being too cheesy. In a year that had blockbuster creature features like Alien Resurrection and Starship Troopers, The Relic was destined to fall through the cracks. Regardless, its cheesiness is precisely what makes The Relic so endearing and what has enabled it to develop a cult following. But with that said, of course, I'd love to hear what you guys thought about the movie, so please share that in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, come join our regular streams on Twitch, and yeah, if you have any other suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. As always, it's been a pleasure. Niyat here with Film and Comics Explained. Thanks for stopping by.
Talk ideas.
Us too, man.
You know what? I want this to be cutting edge. I want it to be fast, quick cuts, you know, youthful, sort of MTV on crack kind of thing.